Modern men are depressed, drained, and quietly defeated, not because they're weak, but because they've been lied to their entire lives. Since childhood, men are handed a fairy tale. Be a good man, be kind, be patient, work hard, and one day, a good woman will see your value. But the world they enter as adults is nothing like the story they were told. The dating landscape has changed, the values have changed, the incentives have changed, and suddenly the rules they were raised on don't apply anymore. Today, most young men feel invisible, not because they lack worth, but because worth itself has been redefined. In the modern world, attention is currency, clout is power, perception is reality. And a man who is still growing, still building, still becoming doesn't stand a chance in a marketplace that celebrates the already finished product. Women don't want to build with you anymore. They want to arrive when you're done. Not all women, but most of them do this, and it shapes the experience of millions of men. A man could be working 2 jobs, grinding, studying, improving himself, believing that loyalty and effort will eventually pay off. Meanwhile, she's chasing the lifestyle she sees online. Not intentionally hurting anyone, but subconsciously drawn to excitement over stability, to status over potential, to what's popular over what's good. So he tries harder. He becomes more loyal, more patient, more giving, hoping someone will see the value he knows he has. But here's the hard truth. The dating world does not reward the man who tries hardest. It rewards the man who is wanted by others. The more available a man is, the less he's valued. The more loyal he is, the more replaceable he becomes. The more he gives, the less she respects it. This is the reality many men wake up to, a quiet heartbreak that isn't dramatic, but is deeply painful. The realization that effort doesn't equal attraction. And this is where the depression begins, not because men are weak, but because they're confused. Because everything they were told about becoming a man no longer fits the world they're living in. They thought being respectful was enough. They thought being reliable was enough. They thought doing the right things would eventually pay off. But modern society doesn't reward patience. It rewards visibility. It rewards status. It rewards the loud, not the loyal. So the quiet, hardworking man begins to ask himself, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not enough? Why am I invisible? But the answer isn't that he's not enough. The answer is that he's playing a game with rules that changed while he wasn't looking. Here's the shift nobody talks about. Women today aren't necessarily looking for potential. They're looking for the finished version of a man who already has confidence, a man who already has influence, a man who already has options, a man who is already desired by others. Most men are still told to be yourself, but the modern dating world tells women to never settle. And that imbalance is destroying men from the inside out. But here's the turning point. There comes a moment after the disappointment, after the confusion, after the quiet heartbreak, where a man finally realizes the truth. A man becomes powerful the moment he stops seeking validation. The moment he stops chasing people and starts chasing a purpose. The moment he stops asking for opportunities and starts creating them. The moment he makes love his mission and makes himself the mission. That's the moment everything changes. Not because women change, but because energy changes, presence changes, self-respect changes. A man who is focused, disciplined, and improving naturally becomes the type of man who is valued, not because he begs for it, but because he embodies it. Here's the real transformation. When a man chooses himself, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity, he becomes rare. He becomes respected. He becomes desired. He becomes someone whose attention actually matters. Because the truth is simple. A man who chooses himself becomes a man others choose. Not because he tries harder, but because he stands taller. So here's the message spoken directly to the young man listening. Stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting to be appreciated. Stop waiting to be understood. The world is not coming to save you. Validation is not coming. Fairness is not coming. But you can choose yourself today. You can build your body, your money, your mindset, your confidence, your future. You can reclaim the energy you wasted on people who never saw you, never understood you, never valued you. Your power begins the moment you realize one thing: you are not invisible. You are simply unfinished. And once you finish building yourself, the same world that ignored you will pretend it always believed in you. Focus on your mission. Focus on your growth. Focus on your purpose. Everything else will follow.